1, 2, we go. We go. Okay. 1, 2, we go.
Good afternoon, Ugandans. Welcome to the Real Talk with Ambassador Milton Kambula. Today is such a special day. We are here to analyze the budget. We are not talking about a wedding budget. We are not talking about your home budget. We are talking about the national budget. Each and every one of us would like to have a share of the national cake, but this begins with how we budget for the nation. Our leaders have indeed given us a budget of 72.3 trillion, and they are saying that's the budget that we are supposed to run with for the entire financial year 2025 and 2026. With me here, as I told you, this is Real Talk. We are really going to talk about real issues in our nation. We are promising you we shall always be coming to you each and every week with serious discussions. We are here today. Today is the national budget speech. We expect the president to be giving the speech and also talk to the nation. Last Thursday, he was giving the state of the nation. But today, we are looking at the national budget. I'm with Peace Service Ambassador. He's an analyst. He's a political consultant. He's a consultant and a genius in many aspects. We are here with him. Ambassador, you are welcome.
Thank you, brother. Good afternoon, please.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, I think it's already good afternoon.
Yes, it's a good afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we are here to analyze the budget.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to assure Ugandans, we want to help Ugandans really understand this whole thing, this animal, the budget, the national budget. You know, in those days, whenever I would hear about the budget speech, people would be wondering and would sit and begin feeling, waiting for when the sugar will rise, when the price of rice will be going up. But things changed. Now we get to know things before even the budget speech. This budget, the theme, dear viewers, is full monetization of Uganda economy through commercial agriculture, industrialization, expanding and broadening services, digital transformation, and market access. Ambassador, that's the theme of the budget.
Yeah,
let's talk about the theme of the budget.
You see, the theme it gives you direction of what you can achieve.
Yes.
And whereas the theme is there, looks so sweet, but my issue is how practical are we in achieving each of those terminologies? Because it can remain a sentence. A sentence like some of our Pentecostal churches, some of them, the church of repentance, of Jesus, of going to heaven, make sure you are clean, church. No, the theme must be simple and must give you direction of what you are capable of achieving.
So, Ambassador, we see a direction here. Full monetization of Ugandan economy. Let's begin with that.
Because when you are talking about that, you must then look for the tractors. I'm not seeing tractors in agriculture. The tractor, because this budget must have legs and hands. Somebody may have developed it with the brain, but the budget must have the legs. Because I'm not seeing in this budget, because agriculture alone.
We are going into
go there by pumping resources inside agriculture.
Okay.
And that means the budget is not sufficient enough. From what I'm looking at, the Maputo Declaration alone must directed us to pump more than 10% of our budgets in agriculture. Here you are talking about very minimum. This is it's called party money. Birthdays party can take all this money.
Maybe
800
for clarity. Yes,
Yes.
yes, Ambassador. For
Yes.
clarity, we have agriculture. It is 815.5 billion.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm pinning.
Yes, that's
Because
that's
more
the
than
percent.
62% of Ugandans are in agriculture. So when you are talking about monetization, you are looking at turning this 62% of Uganda's population who are actually in agriculture to be able to be on the foundation of commerce, trade, entrepreneurship. But who is the engine? The engine is technology, the tractors,
Actually,
the
we
quality
have,
seeds.
we have 2.6. That's the percentage of the budget.
So this is joking. This is a joking subject. 2.6 of our budget going into agriculture. That is very small. And when I see now digitization, I'm not seeing enough resources. So I wish that the president needs to be helped in actually fighting corruption, which has also been taking 10 trillion of our money. So if we can recover that now to help us monetize the Uganda's economy.
We are here to bring things into perspective.
Yes.
The IGG report,
Yes.
it really came out and showed that we are losing 10 trillion
Per year.
per year.
And you have 72 trillion
To corruption.
as budget. So you deduct that constant of 10 trillion. We have to have it here.
Okay.
We must plan for it and
It's an
budget for it.
expenditure.
It is an expenditure. So as much as we are planning the expected, but the actual, then I must see increased money, increased financing coming from the savings as a result of reducing on corruption, coming to help us realize monetization of Uganda's economy. But in perspective, the theme is okay. The president is doing a wonderful job in terms of giving us a good theme, full monetization of Uganda's economy through his very clear, through these 4 thematic areas: commercialization of agriculture, expanding services like the marketing you're talking about, value addition, packaging, research, quality assurance. These are good areas. I will talk about them as we now dive into the whole thing. Digitizing the economy through technology, market access. This is good. This is really good.
Okay.
And I think
Let's discuss our
yes.
market access.
That is very, very hard.
The other time we lost our presence in AGOA.
Yes.
And we keep losing markets even in our neighborhood, despite the agreements that we have, the East African Market Protocol. All that. Our goods are being chased here and there. Ugandans produce goods and they remain here.
The issue is that the budget of 72 trillion, that's good inspiration. And it can come or be achieved if we have this market access becoming part of the top priority 5, priority areas 5. So that now, through building capacity, for example, in the European Union, our pineapples, which are the sweetest and organic in the whole world, World Bank has said that. How can we penetrate, push our fruits that are organic in the European Union, our coffee in the European Union, in the Asian markets, China, South Korea? I don't know whether North Koreans will take our coffee, but research will direct us there.
Okay.
Japan, the Japanese are getting out from, they love our coffee. But we don't see, in this budget, I don't see a sufficient budget that can trigger very serious results from market access through engaging governments, ministries of trade, ministries of entrepreneurship, ministries of international relations, Korea, South Korea, Japan, European Union, even South America, even the United States, AGOA must come back. I'm not seeing it in the budget to allow negotiators go meet President Trump to engage on bring back our AGOA opportunities, because the United States can become, it's a global market. Everyone, even in China, you know what's going on between China and USA. Everyone must access US market for us to realize this budget.
But Ambassador, we are not sending anything.
No, we are sending T-shirts. I remember some of our T-shirts, clothes, some products from agriculture, from dairy farms, it's coffee. So AGOA needs to come back, because when we lose the market called America, we lose almost half of our opportunities, because the whole world is looking at how they can penetrate the United States. So we need to focus on recovering or restoring our relations with the US, so that AGOA can, and other markets in America, because if we can penetrate our coffee to all the 54 plus states of America, you go to Washington DC, Seattle, Pennsylvania, you go to all these, Seattle, all New York. You know, you like New York City. If all those bazungus, just 5% of the Americans taking our coffee, our economy will come back.
Ambassador,
but now, Middle East is also critical, not just housemaids. Housemaids, yes, are very good, but we need to have expert labor export system, not just skilled labor, like doctors, like engineers, drivers. I am looking at people working at the airport as even in those planes, flying those aircrafts, so that we have value, because we cannot talk about value addition without value addition on our labor externalization system.
Ambassador, with all the revenue that we collect from tourism,
yes, please,
are we really investing much with just 0.6% of the national budget?
You know, at this particular time, when the whole world is recovering from COVID, people have stress. We are talking about more than 1 billion people around the globe want to travel. And here is a case, in a case scenario, that Uganda has the top, is among the top 5 countries in the world with the top amazing tourism destinations in the world. So you have a wide spectrum of tourist items, like our gorillas, Nebwindi, impenetrable forest. There was our culture, look at our culture. There were Ganda, there were Gisu, there were Konzo, there were Amba, there were Toro, there were Nyankwa. All look at what is in Rwenzori, the Rwenzori Mountains, and Kidepo, all these places, from border to border. We needed to at least push that to 10%. 10% of our national budget should go to tourism, because exactly, because these are direct resources. Dollars, you just milk the dollars on arrival. Basically, what you should invest in are these hotels, good public relations, putting roads to network to these destinations. Real the results, the results, they call them investment, they call return on investment, is immediate, because we have those areas. The Muzungu comes and sees what to see we have. So where do you make a loss? By injecting in at least 5%, okay, 10% first year, then you can reduce the next year to maybe 7%. In 5 years, you will get back your resources, and then the benefits can stimulate economic growth in agriculture, innovations, education. But you need to have, you must have something that you are saying. Right now, we don't have anything. We just have the chimpanzees, we have the destinations, but we don't have the packaging, the packaging in terms of products to sell.
To you who is just joining us, we are here. The Real Talk with Ambassador Milton Kambula. He is a peace service ambassador, he is a global analyst. He is a professor in his field. Ambassador, when we are here, our viewers, to analyze the national budget, which is of 72.376 trillion. Ambassador, I want us to look at the sources of our budget. Where we are going to have, where we are going to get this money that we are thinking of spending. It can't be a budget unless it has sources of income. So we are looking at the sources of income, how we are going to be able to have this money. According to the sources that have been highlighted by the leaders, by the government in particular, we have tax collection of 34.5 trillion. We have domestic borrowing, which is 21 trillion. So when we talk of domestic borrowing, you need to really understand what that means. It means that government will come and hustle with you, the wananchi, to borrow in the bank and other financial institutions. So Ambassador, external borrowing is 10 trillion. Then we have grants, something small. Let's take it from there. Looking at our sources, URA has now a mandate of collecting the huge percentage of the budget. It has to collect 34.5.
They have to squeeze us. That's what it means. And we realize the 34.
The 34. How have they been performing?
Sincerely speaking, I want to say thank you, URA, and the leadership of Commissioner General, my brother, that is Mwezi. Yes. Kajina did something, and there has been improvement in the collection of our taxes. And you know, they say you give appreciation where it is due, where it is really regards. They have done really well. We started with the national budget. You remember when Museveni took over this country, it was not beyond around 20 billion. I mean $5 billion. You remember our budget at some point before that it was $5 billion. It has grown to more than particularly 50 billion. We are growing. I must start with thanking the government of Uganda for accepting at least that metamorphosis. And that metamorphosis means radical decisions being made. So the Commissioner General has a task, as usual, to mobilize this money from us. Because bagamba into I know mufu awunya waino kwata exactly.
Just for the record, the Commissioner General is John Musinguzi.
John Musinguzi, yes. John Musinguzi, thank you. For the Commissioner General of URA, thank you so much for the work you have been doing. I think you have performed well. But our problem here is this money will it be realized? Last year, that is 2024, budget framework paper indicated 34 something, and they realized how much? 29?
Actually, for the financial year 2023-2024,
yes.
URA had the target of 29.21
yes, please.
Trillion.
Yes.
They were able to collect 25.
So that
when we look at the year 2022-2023,
yes,
the target was 25.15.
What was realized?
23.7.
So there has been a record of not realizing the planned budget
I'm
framework.
Still giving you.
Okay.
For 2021 and 2022.
Yes, please.
The target was 22.36.
Realized?
21.6.
Exactly. That's why I want to pin.
As you are coming in.
Yes.
Because now we are looking at the span of 5 years.
Yes, please.
2020 to 2020. That is 2020-2021
yes,
financial year.
Yes, please.
The target was 21.
Yes, please.
And we are able to realize 19.
So you see, those are gaps. Consistent gaps. Not that they failed in 1 year or the third year, but there has been significant lapse or challenge in Ugandans not realizing the money, the URA not realizing the money. Because at some point I said, no, we may not put a trigger on these Ugandans. It is like they have put piston you, to milk a stone to produce water, drinking water. So even then, we cannot blame him. there has been conditions that may not really help him realize the actual budget.
Okay.
So I must say that out of 34 planned, the actual, he may realize 30 trillion if he works so hard, because of what people are still recovering from COVID and the main international conflicts that are going on. We are realizing the increased prices on oil products. Countries like Russia and Ukraine are still at war. Middle East instabilities. US and China relations are bleeding right now. So there are many things. International trade issues may affect even our local realization of the budget.
So, Mr. The trust in collecting, in really collecting this?
No, I don't think we are going to collect all this money. It's because of the situation. When I analyze the economic growth analysis, the index, the performance of different sectors is not really sustainable. We pray that it is realized. We pray that it is achieved. But as we plan, we must prepare Ugandans that please let us pull our stockings up. Let us work hard, because realizing this budget helps us. It is not just Museveni's budget, it is our budget. Because if it is realized, Museveni will construct for us more roads. That's what it means. It means we'll have more rail, we'll have the railway, we will have better hospitals with medicine. It means that if we support URA and everyone has a TIN number, everyone has a company has registered, you're working and opening family businesses, it means we will have 34 trillions, and that means URA realizing 34 trillions can translate to strong economy, peace and security. But the issue, my issue is corruption. He will collect the 34 trillion.
In corruption in URA or corruption in...
No, he can collect it. And then you must trigger a negative, subtract the 10 trillion IGG is telling us that usually is lost per year annually. 10 trillion in corruption.
So you are telling Ugandans
to fight, to join the fight against report those who are stealing our, because you receive on one hand, you lose on the other hand. So you have not saved. So to me,
but Ambassador,
yes,
on a lighter note,
yes,
Ugandans they have been crying about the automatic, and they were preferring at least the negotiations with the traffic officers.
No. You see, that those are the issues. We must fix the roads. And to me, I feel the 2 trillion we are giving General Katumba Wamala is not enough. Remember, for the last 2 years, we have been giving him very small money. We started well 4 years ago by giving 3 trillion. But when it came to 2022, 2023, we started reducing. But according to the report, Katumba Wamala needs a minimum of 3.5 trillion. But you are giving him 2 trillion. And part of it is the railway, which you are giving around 2 billion. Is it 2 billion? Are you going to repair these engines which are old, or you're going to build a railway system that will trigger mobility and reduce the cost of doing business on transport in the country?
So, going back to tax.
Yes.
Tax collection in the country.
Yes.
Because it's now proven that it is the source of funding our budget. It's the biggest source of funding our budget. The next is domestic borrowing.
Actually, when it comes to dates, because we have 72 trillion, and you are saying you're going to mobilize more than 31 trillion from borrowing, domestic 21 and 10
and external borrowing is 10.
That is 31 trillion. You're going to borrow, but remember, you're going to also pay the interest on loans, which is totaling to 21 trillion. Isn't it 21 trillion?
Yes. For the record, we have there is a domestic refinancing, which is 10 billion. Then we have interest payments, which is 11
when you combine all that, you will have more than 21 trillion. 21 trillion, you are only saying those that you borrowed from to keep quiet, please give me some time. But Ugandans must know that the debt burden of Uganda total is more than 110 trillion. So you are not doing anything there. You're only adding more 10 on the 110 trillion to now make it 120 trillion.
So Ugandans really need to understand that
we need to tie up our belts.
That ambassador is really highlighting. We are saying that in the budget we are planning to borrow.
Yes.
31 trillion.
Exactly.
In total.
In total.
External 21.
Yes.
External is 10 and then domestic is 21.
Exactly.
But again, as we are planning to pay,
yes,
we are having 21.
Yeah, exactly. There is a question mark.
And then the burden is in 110.
110. Who is failing to present this to Parliament to discuss the Uganda's debt burden?
So
and we should renegotiate
even when we reduce by 21.
There is nothing we are reducing. We are increasing.
Adding my
You see, when you read the documents, you see Ugandans, I want you to demand this budget framework paper in your local language. It was a public holiday during those 1980s. When the presidents are going to read, they are going to read and present the budget. It was a national holiday. People would be in their homes following each item, paraffin, what, school fees, road
taxes added on paraffin.
Exactly. People used to even cry because the others would be happy on the other side. So it was a national debate. Today they are reading the budget. Ugandans are there, just they don't know it. They think it is the Museveni's issue.
No,
and the Parliament.
Ambassador, they law change things. Now everything is discussed when Ugandans are not active.
They must now know that the burden comes to their heads. They must pay the debt burden. They must know that everything rests on their heads. So their ignorance is the reason why Uganda is suffering. Because if they were awake, these people who just look around and go and get these loans on their behalf would be worried and say the Ugandans are awake. Because we have not reduced, we have increased the debt. We are only saying, you World Bank, who's the demand on top of what, please keep quiet, we are just going to refine the interest. The debt still remains.
Yeah.
And this must bring out the real issue. Because now we have grants. Grants around 2 trillion. Who are these? The grants, of course, we have Gavi. We thank Gavi, and of course, is in health, and the Global Fund, Minister of Health. We thank you for helping us rebuild a lost relationship with these people. We had lost it, especially with the Global Fund. That was the cause. Those hooligans stole the money in billions and ran with it. We jailed them, but they came out. They found their way out of jail. And we even brought back these guys to become even ministers. Some of them are still ministers up to today. They were given back their posts in the government. So this is the reason.
Come back and share.
This is the reason why I am not happy. I am not happy because as we construct the national budget, we must also implicate the people who are shaming us, who are shaming our relations to the institutions where we would get increased budget access, like grants. NGOs must bring us money, civil society organizations. That's my field, that's my space. But when we spoil our name as a result of corrupt people stealing money meant for people with HIV, then those people who can be stimulated to add us grants and we are donations, they run away.
So, Ambassador, for record, this year's budget is just increasing on our debt budget.
You must tighten your belt because you are not triggering reduction, you are triggering increase. At a moment like this, where I expected the President Museveni, because he promised us in 2023, he promised us that he would now commercialize agriculture, which is good. But that vision has no legs. The tractors are not in the national budget. Every village should have a tractor, which can be hired or be given to cooperative societies, farmers' unions. Yes, it is supposed to be also, it must also, I'm seeing PDM, but PDM without a tractor to the farmers is not going to work well. The money will still go, the 1 million per person or per household, but this 1 million will still be spent on, first of all, on hoes. A hoe cannot take the economy of this country anywhere.
We are still in the whole economy.
This should be called the whole economy. Because the Parliament and the Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Planning is not helping the President to actualize his vision. His vision in 2023 was every constituency must have a tractor. A tractor, and in each village a tractor, to help farmers do large-scale farming. They can unite their farms, but they will not unite their farms using the hoe. I'm only seeing research, which is okay. I'm also seeing money to do with the buying seeds and chemicals. This chemical is also doing us the service. Much of chemicalized and weaponizing the agricultural sector, using more chemicals. We must rather have research on making agriculture organically managed by using these traditional. Our fathers used the very degradable manure. You understand? Not chemicals. We cannot run agriculture using these dangerous chemicals, which cannot be bought by our local farmers. They are poor. They cannot access them. Then it means that the breeds you have given them, which are foreign, which do not, they are not friendly with their type of soil. Then it means you will have low yield from agriculture. If you have the first yield is good, next year it will not be a good yield because plants cannot reproduce themselves. Have you seen it in the pineapple production? It is also in pumpkin production. Some mangoes no longer have seeds inside. Have you seen that? Now it means weaponizing agriculture, using unprofessional and unfriendly chemicals will also chase away the flies, which fertilize these crops to make honey. Are you seeing how agriculture is being destroyed? So, Mr. President and the Parliament, we would wish to go organic agriculture. Then if we say commercialization of agriculture, we must make sure in the next budget, 2026 budget, we must have tractors in every village, hired by the farmers, by those circles, by the PDM needs agriculture, which agriculture is the area where farmers are going to invest. But they don't have tractors. Are you seeing it? And the marketing money, I'm not seeing some good money for value addition. It's very small money. So the thing will not be achieved.
To your viewers, we are now looking at the allocations, how this money has been allocated to the different sectors of our economy. But to help us narrow down this debate, as we are also planning to bring it to an end, we wanted to look out to some important that we thought these are critical sectors that are so pertinent and at heart of Ambassador.
Yes.
And that is health, that is education,
yes,
that is agriculture,
yes,
then also boosting household income. For transport, it is 2.17 trillion. That's what was allocated. Education, 800 billion.
That is small money.
Health, we have 5.7, and agriculture, we have 800.
That is very agriculture. What I'm talking about, you want to be have a self-sustaining economy,
yes,
and you are putting chips money in agriculture, where 61 point something population of your population is in agriculture. That's why you are supposed to pump 2 trillion to make sure they have tractors, to make sure they have small industries, valuable industries in every constituency, and you pump free electricity or cheap electricity. Are you getting it? Because you must make sure that they have a capacity to tap into what the factors of production, like land, which they have. Because we must allow this land to produce for us the economy we want. But they don't have the tractor. So 815 billion in agriculture is saying we must go back to poverty, to dependency rate. You understand? It means you are failing also on your own PDM, because the 1 trillion is not enough for PDM. I had thought, Mr. President, you're going to use my advocacy of last year to pump it to 3 trillion.
We are coming to boosting household income.
Okay.
We have now finished agriculture.
Okay.
I want us to talk about education. You've been so vocal on revamping and really changing our education system. We have been seeing you pushing for these reforms here and there. Now here we look at the budget, because whatever you propose, whatever you talk of, must be actualized through a budget.
Through the budget.
Now we are looking at the education budget of 800 billion.
That is, you know, this they hide in this terminology, human capital development. Then you find there are some things that are supposed to be in the Ministry of Justice, they also in Ministry of Education. So you don't. So that's why I'm saying the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development. This what the public need the right budget framework paper, because you are hiding things. These things are not seen here very well. So let me just go to the 800 billion.
Yes.
Sincerely, at this particular time, when we are looking at in the next 5 years to make the Uganda's economy at least 90% of it self-sustained. How do you therefore reach to that vision if your education, which you want to transform, only has 800 billion?
So this is small.
In the whole of East and Central Africa, Uganda has the poorest educational retention and completion rate. Can you imagine?
So our kids join, but they don't complete.
Maybe they have not had. In this East Africa, you have 63% of your graduates half-baked graduating at Makerere. In all your universities. That is the report from the Inter-University Council of East Africa. All 100 universities profiled our education outcomes as that. Then you joke, you give the first lady only 800 billion, as if you are just saying, go and organize your birthday.
Ambassador.
So I am not seeing
the 800 billion.
Yes.
You should also know where it is going. It is going to Uganda Secondary Education Expansion Project.
What are they expanding?
Maybe the seed schools.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Yes.
Then it is there is 12.8 billion that is going towards development of primary schools project. Then we also have 54 that is going towards vocational projects. You've been doing
yes, I've been guiding.
So now there is 54.
What I am not seeing.
Then we have 7 billion that is towards UNEP infrastructure.
Now let me start from point 1. I am not seeing at least 500 billion because this one we even developed a concept. We developed it on the budget. We gave it to the ministry. Teacher retooling. Teacher retooling. 500 billion. Where is it in this one? And we are talking about having a new population to build this country's economy, which is self-sustaining. Because remember, we have 120 trillion as a debt. How are you going to pay it if you don't improve your human resource, your population, 45 million Ugandans? Right now, they call people in Kampala, and the people in Kampala also call the one in house girls in the budget. That's how you must think about it. So I am not seeing that budget we crafted as an actually our organization, the one which helped to craft that. 500 billion was supposed to go to retooling the teachers, because in my thesis is that the conceptual framework, you must transform the teacher to give you a transformed student, and the transformed student will give you a transformed nation. I am not seeing that. I am also not seeing, look here, my brother, these things, we are not talking about miracles here. No, we are talking about God having blessed Uganda, already blessed it with miracles. It's all about tapping into the miracles. And how are you going to get the miracles in your own country? By preparing the teacher. The teacher, the miracle changer. From rhetoric talking to reality. Because you are talking about improving agriculture. How is education preparing the teacher, retooling the teacher to teach agriculture out of the walls of school by taking the child to the farm, and this child turning the tomatoes into tomato sauce and packaged to go to the supermarkets and to America as a market access. That is how so I am seeing your 800 billion, sir.
Yeah. It is
just
drop in the
a drop in the ocean. I think the ocean is not enough. So that is not me. I'm not happy because Mama has no budget. Mama Janet has no budget. I think this money she just has to just cut it. Maybe as you even in these areas, primary. We need a competence-based curriculum for primary. We drafted with our colleagues. NCDC did a good job, but NCDC is stuck. They don't have a budget, whereas the Constitution mandated NCDC as an independent educational body, not as a ministry. NCDC is supposed to be alone. They are stuck. They have no budget because they are supposed to recruit the teachers. They have to deliver the new curriculum. Do you know that I speak in a workshop? Because somebody in the government is saying no, the education must remain colonial, stupid, and non-productive, so that we continue suffering.
Our bleeding is our health. We are having 5.7 trillion being allocated.
Okay, thank you very much, the parliamentary committee on health. You did a good job because when I saw on the framework paper, the framework paper was talking about the infrastructure.
Yes.
The technology. Yes, it's here. 1 billion is going for, of course, most of this money, by the way, I thank Global Fund. You know, Honorable Minister Cheng is a good mobilizer. I can understand that some of these resources are coming from our external partners, some of them from,
of course, the
government.
The huge funds are from external
yes.
partners.
Global Fund has given us plus, of course, for